Hey y'all, so I was debating whether or not to record this video, but I decided to do it because um, I've been reading so much about coronavirus, and while I've been reading, I've also been reading about those people who are not feeling well and are struggling with symptoms, and about how they hesitate to come forward and admit that they're not well because they're worried about being ostracized for it. And I know how they feel because I've been sick for about a week now, and I have hesitated to let anybody know how I feel. My family knows how I feel, and my boyfriend, who's quarantined with me, he also has really mild symptoms, and obviously he knows how I feel because he's helping me right now. But I'm sharing this with you because what I'm finding is that people, some people who have the symptoms and who haven't been tested yet, or I have been tested. I got tested last Tuesday, and I'm waiting on my results. I was told my results will be ready by about Tuesday. And I'm so sorry if you can bear with me while I get through this coughing. I'm told that my results will be ready by about Tuesday. But what I'm finding is that people who are feeling mildly sick, and my symptoms started out very mild, will ignore them. They'll think it's seasonal allergies, or they'll attribute it to something else. They'll keep grocery shopping or running their errands or doing whatever they need to do. And I think that that's spreading the virus and making it worse. They don't want to lose their jobs. They have to go in or they'll lose their jobs. They have to keep up appearances. I know that for me, I'm so thankful and so blessed to do a lot of work on the computer, and I have to sit up in bed because if I lie down, it could cause pneumonia because my lungs are already showing damage, and so I'm able to do my work sitting up, and my work is a wonderful distraction. I'm so thankful for it. But other people might be afraid to admit that they feel sick because they don't want to lose their jobs. But if people keep going out and about when they have the slight headache or a slight sore throat, which is how mine started, then this is going to keep spreading. So I want to share with you how this all started for me so that y'all can keep track of your own health. Or if you have a friend who calls you and tells you they're not feeling well, you can encourage them to go to the doctor to get help. So here's what happened with me. I decided to isolate myself a while back, and then a few days later I started having a very, very mild sore throat. It was so mild, I had no other symptoms with it. I didn't feel sick at all. I didn't feel run down at all. I felt fine, and it was just an annoyance. So I ignored it, I dismissed it. That lasted a couple of days. And then Friday, so a week ago yesterday, I woke up with shortness of breath. It was mild, just had trouble breathing, but that's so unlike me. I've never had that before. I don't have seasonal allergies. I have food allergies, but not seasonal allergies. So that bothered me. By that afternoon, it started scaring me. And I talked to a very close friend of mine, and I told her that what was happening and that it scared me, and she said it's probably just bronchitis or something, or allergies. And so I knew in my gut, I just knew something was really wrong. By the next day, Saturday, so a week ago today, I woke up and it was worse. And I talked to my doctor. I had a virtual visit with my doctor, and he noticed it on the virtual visit, and so he called me into his clinic because he wanted to see me in person. I was greeted by him and his assistant in full protective gear, which was great because they were being cautious. They put a mask on me. They checked me with a flu test and a strep test. With both of those came back negative, and they put a nebulizer on me. They made me use a nebulizer for about half an hour. That did not help at all. It didn't help my breathing. He sent me home with Tamiflu and with erythromycin. That didn't help. I did the whole course of that for about 5 days or however long I'm supposed to do it. By that weekend, it got worse. by Monday, my lungs were hurting. So he called me in for a chest x-ray, and my chest x-ray, the report came back showing, the report actually said emphysema. I've never smoked a cigarette in my entire life. I've never even taken a drag off a cigarette, and I've never lived with a smoker. So that was a shock, and that showed that my lungs were already showing damage. He sent me to, he sent a prescription. Thankfully, I have a pharmacy that's a drive-through pharmacy. So I picked up this nebulizer, which has been saving me. And he said, use this as often as you need to when you need to breathe. So by today, I've been using it. The prescription is every 4 hours. I've been using it. Today I had to use it like 1 hour apart, but it helps so much. And I'm sharing this with you. Well, by Tuesday, I got the COVID test. He called me in to get the COVID test because he noticed I wasn't getting any better. Then I started running a fever. Normal temperature is 97. I've been running a fever hovering at about 100, and Tylenol's not helping. One of my dear friends in San Diego sent me this oregano oil that she made for me, and I'm just so happy about that because I do think that that's helped boost my immune system. And my brother got me this. This is black elderberry, which I read in a study helps to boost the immune system, and this can be purchased at any pharmacy. There's nothing that can be done about this until we find out the test results. And if the test results come back positive, then I can take medication. But until then, I have to use this nebulizer to breathe. And I used it before getting on this video, and before I get on a call or something, I use this. But I'm sharing this with you because there are people who dismiss mild symptoms. Like my boyfriend, who's quarantined with me, has a mild fever, and he's had a mild fever and a headache, a really mild headache for days, for as long as I have had my breathing issues. And so his symptoms are completely different from mine, but my doctor told me that my test results will be his test results. So we're in this together, and thankfully he's here to help me. I'm in a building in the middle of the world's best medical center in Houston. Our building manager has gathered volunteers who are assigned to each floor to go grocery shopping and to take pharmacy runs for the various floors. So I know that if I need something, I can ask for it. But here's an important reason I'm sharing this. If any of your friends tell you, my throat kind of tickles, it kind of hurts, encourage them to get a virtual visit with their doctor. If they say they have a little bit of shortness of breath, get a virtual visit with a doctor. If their lungs hurt, same thing. If they have a headache that's persistent and a low-grade fever, the same thing. It might not be just a cold. It might not be allergies. This could be the coronavirus, and if it is, we need to know, and we need to quarantine. I mean, we need to be quarantined anyway, but sometimes if people don't think that they really have it, they're going to go to the grocery store anyway, and that's how we spread this. Y'all, it can live in the air. The virus can live in the air for 3 hours, so you can wash your hands, go someplace where somebody has coughed, and you walk right into it. And that is how we're going to spread it if we're not careful. It lasts on steel and plastic for days, cardboard for 24 hours, steel and plastic for 3 days. And so you might get in an elevator and touch the elevator button and nobody's around you, so you think you're social distancing, but the virus could be there. It could be on that steel, on the button that you push for the elevator, and that is where it could be living. And then you touch your face and you're going to get it. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this so that we can all be careful. I'm seeing so many social media posts of people saying that they miss surfing. I miss surfing too. When I first decided to isolate, I thought I was concerned about staying in shape. I was concerned about my business. I was missing surfing. Now, my biggest concern is the health of my lungs, is reversing the damage, is being able to breathe, making sure that my boyfriend hears my breathing and gets me help, emergency help if I need it in time. That's my biggest concern right now. My concern isn't when am I going to be able to go out to a movie again. I don't care about that right now. I just care about getting well. So let's all put this in perspective, and we are all alone, but we're all in this together. And I'll keep you posted on my test results, but I wanted to share this with you because if it just helps one person, then this video will have done its job. I'm Marisa Vallbona, Live Inspired.